Hi everyone, it's Bernard here. Welcome to my latest Citizen vlog. It's a City present today, so we're looking back. It's the 27th of November, so we're looking back at, well, what happened last night against Shakhtar Donetsk. Also, I'm having a quick look at Twitter, what's been happening on there this week, the last few days. Obviously, we'll be looking at Stuart Brennan's player ratings, what he give the City, and I'll be giving you my player ratings for last night as well. And a quick look forward to the Newcastle game at weekend. So, right, let's start with the wonderful game last night, the Shakhtar Donetsk, Manchester City versus Shakhtar Donetsk. 64% possession for City, 36% for Shakhtar, which is pretty much what we expect from City, perhaps not as high as many of us probably would have thought. We had 16 shots on 16 shots, 7 on target. They had 7 shots, 3 on targets. So wasn't the greatest. Doesn't sound too bad, that, does it? 23 chances. It doesn't sound not one of the worst games on paper, anyway, as you can see from that. As you know, I do the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's no real ugly this week, unless you count me as being ugly, which is probably the only thing. So it's a few good and bad things, obviously. I mean, starting with the team. I mean, Edison, Cancelo, Otamendi, Ferner, Angelino, Rodri, Gundogan, KDB, Bernardo, Jesus, Sterling. I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed with the Rodri Gundogan midfield thing there. I couldn't see where the legs were. I mean, this game for me was crying out for Phil Foden to start. Now, whether he's saving him for Newcastle at weekend, I don't know. I doubt it very much. Do you? I mean, I doubt he's been doing that. I doubt he's been saving it for the weekend. So it'll be interesting to see, won't it? No, but I would like to have seen Phil Foden's energy in there, because obviously with that, I was a bit worried about the pace and the speed, which we've not been very good at all season. And obviously it came to the fore, didn't it, last night? We just didn't look pacey all over the place. We just looked very limited. So I was a bit disappointed with the team. But hey, Pep knows what he's doing, doesn't he? So who are we to complain? The next thing that was pretty good, I thought, was good. On the good side, we've had one bad there with the team, and I thought Phil Foden should have started. On the good side, it was nice to see City rewarding the fans who went over to Shakhtar. I watched the Ian Cheeseman thing, which is great. I mean, that's fantastic for City to do that for him. And I hope they enjoyed it, the 100 plus guys, and they'll all be there, won't they, for the Zagreb game. All credit to them. I mean, I'd love to follow City more than I do, but obviously personal circumstances mean I can't. So I do these history things and stuff, and I've had plenty of away days, not so much in Europe. I mean, I've only ever attended one proper European game as such. I've been to a couple of friendlies, but only an actual one competitive one. But hey, that's another thing. That's just circumstances, isn't it? But all credit to the guys who went, and all credit for City for looking after them. Continue with the bad. I mean, I had a look on the app this morning. I did have a chuckle when I saw the brief highlights, because I did go on Twitter and say, well, I can't wait for the extended highlights, and I can't wait for the full match replay. I won't be watching that, I'm afraid, even though obviously from a point of view of looking just how the players did. As I say, I was at the ground, so it's always hard from our perspective in the South Stand, quite low down, to see the full thing. So I may watch it, but it's not top of my list to watch the full match again. And good luck with finding the extended highlights, because the brief highlights, some of the things were literally just watching a Kevin De Bruyne cross being smothered by a goalkeeper. So that's how bad it was. The next bad thing was probably going to the game now. Obviously, the Edison air kick. I mean, I've watched that on the highlights. That was absolutely, I had no idea what he was doing. No idea what he was doing there. And that was pretty pathetic, to be honest with you. And that, for a game where it didn't have too much to do, I have no idea what that was. I've never seen him do that before. And perhaps that's just in one kick, just what the whole team's going through at the moment with Edison. You know, that one kick probably summed everything up, didn't it? And thankfully, we had a couple of defenders, and thankfully, Ferner got back and cleared it. All credit to him, who I thought was our best player, but more on that later on. So yeah, the fresh air kick, I'll give that as one of the bad. On to a good. I think Otamendi at least give us a little bit of height up front. He did have a good chance in the first half from it. I think it was an Angelino cross, wasn't it, where he unfortunately headed it straight at the goalkeeper, basically. But at least we had someone up there who looked big and could get the headers in. We're sadly lacking that, aren't we? And it was nice to see Otamendi. So I stuck that in the good because I'm pretty desperate to find things to put in the good. And then we go on to the first half was a damp squib, wasn't it? We go into the second half and the goal, excellent goal, sort of from nothing. I mean, we'd started the second half pretty much like we finished the first half. I think KDB did a little ball, and Jesus, who'd worked hard like he usually does, jiggled about a bit. There's 3 or 4 players round. He managed to get it to Gundogan, who passed it into the goal, basically, didn't he? I mean, it was quite a simple goal in the end to go 1-0 up. But it was a good move up to that stage anyway. Then we go up to the bad, which obviously was, again, we didn't build on that lead. It was their goal, which we had bodies back, didn't we? It came down our right, so I'm not going to blame Angelino particularly, although some people have. It came across and we have 4 or 5 men in the box and there's no one alert. There's no alertness in that defence. We're just looking at the ball. There's no one watching. I mean, Pep teaches players to look at what's around them as well. So when the ball comes to them, they know virtually where they're going with it. And the defenders were just so zoomed in on the guy on the right, and the guy at the back just sort of nipped in and put it away quite simply. I mean, it was a good goal for and they deserved that, Shakhtar, because all right, we didn't play great, but they played okay. I thought Shakhtar played pretty well. Even Dodo, Mr. Dodo, I think did he cross it? I'm not he could have been the one who crossed it. And a bit of a laugh beforehand. Number 98, Dodo, which is quite funny. I like these one-name players like Joe and Dodo and stuff like this. So they do appeal to me, and they do give me a little bit of a chuckle. Yeah, so that was bad. I mean, just bad defending again. Just say we had plenty of men back, didn't we? But there you go. And then the next bit of good was good and bad, I suppose. I think we had a chance near the end where they cleared it off the line. It hadn't crossed the line. It was quite clear it hadn't crossed the line. So I put that as a bit of good or bad, to be honest with you. The good, we qualified. Hey, a draw was good enough. Atalanta, who I thought would beat Zagreb, actually. I actually predicted they would beat them on another vlog. Actually, because they're not a bad team at Atalanta. I was quite impressed with Atalanta, so that they did that. So we've now qualified, and fingers crossed. I don't believe we've got any injuries. No one looked particularly tired last night, although there's probably a reason for that, because obviously the amount of effort that was put in. Crowd, it looked fairly full, but atmosphere-wise, I mean, I know I'm not going to say I wish I had the opposite fans with drums next to me, but. Obviously, they're not going to bring many of them, and they weren't overly noisy. The ones they did bring, I did notice. I'd be surprised. I don't know how many came over from the Ukraine. I would imagine most of them would have been UK based, to be honest with you. But I might be wrong on that. But there was no great atmosphere. We did a bit of singing in the singing section. I didn't really hear the East Stand, for instance, who usually get involved, don't they? In the what we call the Kipaks now, give us a song, but. They weren't very loud at all. If anything, I didn't really hear anything. But I think Champions League nights, you get a lot of new visitors, don't you? So that's probably why. But we weren't great. My voice has gone a little bit. I did plenty of shouting myself, plenty of singing, but nothing ever really took off. So the crowd really reflected the team on the night. It was just generally, again, we looked a bit iffy, didn't we? A bit mishy-mashy, a bit messy, nothing fantastic, no pace. Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, if I look at the players individually, I'm not going to pick on the players who didn't do overly well. Again, I've given quite low marks today, which I'll do in a second with Stuart Brennan's thing. My man of the match had to be Werner again, and even though he wasn't put under any tremendous amount of pressure, he stood out for me, and I would say followed by Otamendi and KDB for his work rate. But again, there's no movement. He was putting his crosses, low crosses, he was whipping things in. So he's doing his best again, but he hasn't got much to go with him, has he really? Let's have a look at these Stuart Brennan ratings anyway, and I'll give you mine. Right, let's start with Edison. Stuart Brennan, his horrendous air shot in the first half was rescued by Fernandinho, but he was steady after that. So give me 5, which, as I said, my average for turning up and putting your kit on and walking on the pitch is 6. I give Edison a 5.5. I just thought he didn't. Yeah, he was okay after that, but I'm sorry that could have cost us a goal. And that was pretty. So to me, he loses half a point at least. So he didn't do enough to regain that. So I give Edison 5.5. Stuart give him 5.5. I give him 5.5. Stuart give him 5. João Cancelo, attacks kept breaking down after reaching him in the first half. Crossing and passing needs to be better. He's given him a 5. Yeah, I mean, I did spot him time and time again up on the right hand side. I had to double check because I'm not quite used to seeing him at the moment. I'm not quite used to his what he looks like. I get him. I mean, it sounds daft, but him and Rodri at the moment, I do. My old brain has to kick into gear to recognise these players, but I wasn't overly impressed with Cancelo. I mean, Stuart's giving 5. I think I'd only give him a 5.5. So, he deteriorated after coming on the pitch, in my opinion. But he's got, he's new, isn't he? At the end of the day, you got what do we expect? And the Pep system, when it's on all firing, is great. People can be carried, but when it's not firing, people like Cancelo who are coming into it, it must be a struggle. But I can only react and give him a score based on what we see. So there are reasons for it, but I'll give him a 5.5. Cancelo. Fernandinho, that's good rating from Stuart. Heroic defensive blocks are now as much a part of his game as immense focus changing passes, and he gave him an 8 out of 10, which is pretty good. I mean, I give Fernandinho 7.5 out of 10. He does stand head and shoulders out, as a centre half. I think on Twitter there's something Stuart Brennan mentions later. I'll go into that anyway. But 7. I give him 7.5. Stuart's give him a really good 8, obviously. Nicholas Otamendi, thumping header, almost brought a goal. Losing this. Defended well enough to solid tackling, strong throughout. He's given him a 7. Yeah, I mean, I give Otamendi a 7 as well. I think it was worth a 7 yesterday. Angelino kept losing the flying Tete in the first half. Yeah, I mean, he was okay. He didn't do much with it, fortunately. And the goal was down his side as well, happier on the front foot. So he'd give Angelino a 5. Yeah, I mean, I'm not as harsh as that. Again, I'll give him a 5.5. I think he did okay. He nearly got a 6 from me because, again, he's another player who's been asked to do things, a young player. So you got to give him benefit of the doubt. But based on his match, I give him a 5.5 as well. Rodri keeps the ball circulating, does not produce the killer passes City are used to from Fernandinho in that role. So he's given him a 6. I give Rodri a 5.5 again. And it sort of breaks down to the Fernandinho thing. He's not as effective, obviously, in that role as Fernandinho. And obviously, he had Gundogan next to him, which obviously, so pace-wise, yeah. I mean, I give Rodri a 5.5. Again, he lost half a point to me during the game. Kevin De Bruyne single-handedly tried to drag City up to their usual level. This is Stuart, and came up with the pass for Gundogan's goal. So Stuart's given him an 8 out of 10. Yeah, generous. I mean, I'd say I did give him a 7 out of 10, but I think Stuart's been a little bit generous. But yeah, I mean, obviously he did work hard. He did lots of little crosses, but I say there's no movement in front of him, no players giving him options. I mean, so I'll give him a 7 anyway. But again, he struggles with the lack of a variety of players around him, unfortunately. Ilkay Gundogan, better in the holding role after Rodri's departure on the left. He barely got Sterling involved at all, and he's given Ilkay a 6. I give Gundogan a 6 as well. I mean, he was nothing bad, nothing worse. He was just as we expected. He didn't do anything, and he scored the goal, didn't he? So perhaps I should have given him an extra half a point for that, or a point, but I've only given him 6 even, because it was pretty much set up for him. But I give him 6. So I've been mean, but then Stuart's been mean with 6 as well. I'll give him a 6 as well. Bernardo Silva, working hard with De Bruyne, but he's still trying to recapture the magic of last season. He's given a 6. I mean, I almost give him a 5.5, but again, it's just the pace of the game. It doesn't, it's no real benefit for Bernardo. At least, he's going to hang on to the ball. He's not going to particularly lose it or pass it incorrectly. So I give him a steady 6, obviously, based on that. Gabriel Jesus did well to create Gundogan's goal, which he did, but his lack of opportunities is a concern, especially against ordinary opponents. Yeah, I mean, but again, service and the fact Shakhtar played quite, they kept it tight at the back. He had a hard job to do, didn't he, Jesus? Stuart's giving 5. Again, I didn't give him a 6 rating. I give him a 5.5. So again, he did lose half a mark during the game, but it's just part and parcel of the team. Again, with Jesus, I'm not going to, it was weak opposition, but he did really well to set the goal up. So perhaps Stuart's been a bit mean with 5, but I'm not great at 5.5, am I? Raheem Sterling 2 anonymous games in quick succession is unusual, and City have to hope the sparkle has not gone a little flat at a vital time. So he's giving 5. I mean, the sparkle has gone a little flat. I mean, it's not. There's no doubt about that. I give Sterling a 5 as well. He was absolutely not his sort of game. There's nothing at pace, Everything very square at the back with Shakhtar. Very, very deep defending. No room to do much really, Sterling, and. He just didn't have that spark. He didn't get going, did he? The subs, David Silva, he's given him a 6. I didn't even really notice what David did, so I'll just give him a 6 because that's the average score for turning up and coming on the pitch. So I'll give him a 6 as well. But he couldn't change anything. He didn't do anything new, did he? That was the thing. And Phil Foden, I give a 6 as well, although he wasn't on long enough. And as I said, I think Phil Foden should have been on from the start to give us a little bit more oomph, which we are sadly missing, aren't we, oomph? So there we go. I mean, that's the ratings. I don't know what you think. If you put in the comments below, obviously I'll be on a couple of vlogs doing player ratings as well. So it'd be interesting to see, as I say, my highest there. My City man of the match, I'm just going to give it Ferner, to be honest with you. And the only ones who really stood out for me last night were Ferner, Otamendi, and I'll give KDB, just because obviously he's KDB. So that's that. I don't think there's much more to say, is it? We're through. We've got a dead rubber now, which obviously in Zagreb, I mean, he's going to play kids, hopefully, isn't he? Let's be honest. Although it's now important for Shakhtar, obviously, it's in their own hands now. They can beat Atalanta. Zagreb after beat us, and hope that Shakhtar fall down against Atalanta. So at least there's something in the group to be interesting, even though we've won it. At least there's some more action. Obviously, some of the other groups, a couple of are pretty much ending up as we thought, as a couple perhaps going to the last day. But that's the Champions League. Right, I mean, that just before we leave that, obviously the programme we got yesterday, just a couple of nice things in the programme. Obviously, we had the ex-City players picking their favourite teams. This week we had Julian Lescott picking his team. So Joe Hart, Mika Richards, Laporte, Vincent Kompany, Gael Clichy in defence, Fernandinho's defensive midfielder, Raheem Sterling on the right, Yaya Toure in the middle, David Silva on the left in midfield, and Sergio Aguero and Carlos Tevez up front. So that's Julian Lescott's team. So I wonder how that compares to you, to what you might think of your favourite team. Of obviously, he's not going back too many years, is he? It's his dream team of the last few years. Not talking the old Barry Merediths and stuff like that, have we? There's a little book review on the Don't Look, which I've mentioned before, and I'll cover more in probably one of my City Pass vlogs. A nice picture of Mr. Gallagher holding the book up there. Obviously, the Don't Look Back in Anger, the Manchester City fan story by Don Price, Sean Riley. It's out now, priced $10.95 at various places. So it's online, obviously, at City site. I think the Ginger Wig obviously is actually stocking it, and perhaps the shop in Mary D's is stocking it as well. I'm not too sure. Don't Look Back in Anger. Obviously, that very relevant to my City Pass vlogs and things like that. But I hope to do a little review on that at a future date. Shakhtar Donetsk, just a bit of fun. I mean, I'm not great. I was okay on Pidgin French school, but just having a look at the team sheet last night, obviously Dodo did make me laugh, obviously at 98, but I thought, hey, how can I pronounce these names? I can't even see the names. I mind pronounce them. So I'll just run down. I've had a bit. Alexei Shevchenko, a goalkeeper. Bogdan Butko, Serhii Krzysztof, David Kochalava, Taras Stefanenko, Tyson, not Mike, Marcos Antonio, I think I've heard of him, Dentino, obviously a dentist there, Junio Marias, Marlos Tete, that's a nice easy one, Yevhen Konoplyanka, Manat Solomon, Victor Kovalenko, Alan Patrick, Alan, Miyoko Matvelyenko, Andriy Boryachuk, Markinos Cipriano, Andriy Totivotsky, Andriy Piatov, the goalkeeper, I think he played, didn't he, last night? Ismaili, Daniel Sinkan, Vitao, Zehel Bolbat, Mikta Tubievsky, another goalkeeper, Valery Bondar, Anatoly Trubin, another goalkeeper, Miyako Mirdik, and finally Dodo. There you go. There's all that. So if you don't know how to pronounce, or anyone commentating on the game, if they didn't know how to pronounce the names of the Shakhtar squad, there you go. Simple. I mean, I'll say I can do a little bit of French, but we'll see what you think. If you got the program, see if you can pronounce them any better than I can. Anyway, let's have a look towards Newcastle. 12:30 Saturday. We're playing Newcastle. Fans are going to be stuck up in the sky. I thought there's a rule where the fans had to be near the pitch. You know, the one row of fans had access to the pitch. Now, I thought that was a new rule they brought in. Perhaps I must have misinterpreted that, because you're up in the gods and you need oxygen, don't you, to get up there at Newcastle. To win the game, the betting odds 16-1 for Newcastle, which is pretty fair odds based on the Beatles last year, and we're not exactly pulling trees up at the moment. Anyway, 7-1 the draw and 1-5 on for City to win. We're currently second favourites to win the league at 9-4. Newcastle are 5,000-1, but they are fourth favourites to, even though they're not. I mean, they're actually 14th in the league. So even so, they're still fourth favourites to be relegated. So they're 11-4, and they're not done too bad at home, actually. I mean, they started with a defeat against Arsenal, but they've not lost a home game since. Their away form isn't great, obviously, as you've seen recently. But they drew 0-0 with Brighton, beat United 1-0, drew 1-0 with Wolves, drew 1-0 with Watford, and they beat Bournemouth 2-1. So the home thing's not too bad. I mean, obviously the strikers aren't scoring, which is a good thing. I don't see it being I don't see them, they're either going to score 0 or 1. And if they score any more than 1, then obviously we need to ask serious questions. Crowd-wise, obviously there's a bit of discontent there, isn't there? I have noticed the crowds. There's a good, the lowest crowd was 43,000 and the highest was 51,000 against United. So they do turn up for the big games, I noticed. I mean, they're not sold out for Saturday yet. I'm doing this on Wednesday. They're not sold out for Saturday yet. Still plenty of tickets available, but I'm sure probably a similar crowd against City, over 50,000 anyway. But yeah, they did get 51,198 against United. Their average last year was 51,060. So it's only just above the average, but obviously I think the most is 52, isn't it? 52.5, something like that anyway. But the lowest was 43,000 so far this season. So there's an 8,000 swing, which is quite high for the Premiership, between the lowest crowd and the highest crowd. So obviously it is having an effect. There's a bit of a boycott going on. So you can see from the crowds, their average this season at the moment is just over 46,000. It was 51,000 last year, so the 5,000 down on their average crowd. So the loyal Geordie boys up there are, and I know the tickets are usually quite cheap for most of the games. Obviously not for the big games, but for a lot of the games, it basically, they do fill St James's Park by giving some really good buy. I mean, we get slagged off at City, don't we? But Newcastle do offer a lot of cheap tickets for the lesser games, obviously. But obviously the big game, they're not silly, are they? They've got money. Certainly their owner isn't stupid, is he? By any means. So anyway, that's the crowds. I thought I'd have a quick look at the crowds as well, rather than just the football match. The team I want to see. Well, I want to see this team. See what you think in the comments. Let me know. Ederson, I want in goal, obviously. I want Walker at right back. I want some pace. I'm sick of having no pace. And Cancelo's supposed to have a little bit of pace, but hey, I want Walker there. I want Stones and Otamendi as our back two. I'm sorry, I'm saying about Pep, but I would just want Stones and Otamendi as our back two. And I want Mendy on the left again. I don't think Angelino. I wouldn't disappoint me if Angelino was playing, but I want Mendy on the left. I want Ferner then in front of them, because that's City are not going to get back to anywhere like the old City until Ferner's back in his defensive midfielder role. So I would put Stones and Otamendi at the back. I mean, even if Stones and Otamendi, I'd even stick Garcia in there against Newcastle. They're quite a physical team, but I don't think we've got too much to worry about on the attack at pace, really. They're not a slow build-up team. So, and obviously they bring Andy Carroll on. Obviously we need a bit of height. So I'll probably Stones and Otamendi. And as I say, it doesn't worry me. I just want Ferner back where he should be. And he's doing a wonderful job. And again, I'll mention Stuart Brennan in a minute again, who made a comment on Twitter, but I'll go into that in a minute. But I want Ferner there. And in front of Ferner, I want Foden and KDB there. I want Phil Foden to play. Now, he wasn't played last night. I'm hoping that's why, but I doubt it very much. It will not surprise me. Gundogan's there again. He's steady Eddie is there for Pep. But I want Foden and KDB. And then I want Sterling and Jesus. So Sterling, but I want Sterling to start in some form. And Sterling and Bernardo and Jesus. But with the thing of Mahrez, I might put Mahrez in there, because if Sterling and Bernardo aren't really doing it at the moment, are they? So give Mahrez a go. I mean, God, give him some games, at least. All right, he's not perhaps as good tracking back. Perhaps we'll need that against Newcastle. But I don't know. That's why I'd like to see it. Edison, Walker, Stones, Otamendi, Mendy, Ferner, Foden, KDB, Sterling, Jesus, and Bernardo or Mahrez. I'm sitting on the fence on that one. I don't know. Anyway, what do you think about that? And I think, as I said, Newcastle are not. Yeah, they're not big scorers. If we let more than one, if we let a goal, and it'll be pretty sad. I mean, that was a disappointing result last year. We're not on form this year, are we? Let's be honest about it. But I'm going for a 2-0 win. Either a 1-0 or 2-0 win. I'll play safe and say 2-0. I'll be very upset if we let a goal in, to be honest with you, the way Newcastle play, even at home, because they're all right. But they beat Bournemouth 2-1, was it last week? But they've not scored more than one at home apart from that one. So I will be disappointed if we let more than one in. If we let one in or more than one. So I'm going 2-0 win for City. And I just hope we find a little bit of form again, which we've not been doing. And I dread just watching a similar game to last night. Just before we go on Twitter, Keith Hackett was always very vociferous on Twitter against VAR. And obviously we pointed out the offside decision of Raheem Sterling last week. And he just simply said this was not offside. So there you go. Okay, but Keith, you're going to get into trouble, aren't you? Then you had the old diabolical thing with the Premier League who tweeted after the game. After consulting the VAR referee, Martin Atkinson has overturned the goal because Raheem Sterling was offside. Correction. And then they tweeted a correction. The on-field decision was offside. The flag didn't go up. Flag didn't go up till after. I watch it. I'm old school. I always look, even though VAR's in there, I always look for a flag now when goals are scored. So that flag didn't go up until Atkins over and had a word with the lines, and then it went up. So correction, the on-field decision was offside and a goal was not awarded. The VAR checked and confirmed this was correct. So I'm sorry, Premier League, you're either incompetent or you're just downright liars. Do what you want. I mean, that's as simple as that, and that's just how it is. That's my opinion, because you're telling lies there. I mean, it's not true what you said, and people obviously on Twitter have been commenting on that, obviously. And there was a bit of fun this week when everyone thought the keeper movie was on Spike 5, was it? One of the channels on free, obviously. And I remember looking at the keeper movie many months ago before it came out, and I keep obviously coming across Steven Seagal in The Keeper, which obviously I have seen when I had the video shop years and years ago. So I knew there was a film called The Keeper with Seagal in it, and obviously that was the film that was on. So there was a lot of comments. I mean, I made quite a few comments about Seagal's not a very good goalkeeper, is he? And obviously we had recently we've had Edison, Bravo and Walker in there, and now we've got Steven Seagal between the City sticks. So we had a bit of fun with it, but a lot of people were disappointed because that. But I knew it was odd, and I didn't think it was the actual keeper, because the early doors before it came on, it did say on the movie guide that it wasn't Steven Seagal, that it was the City thing. So their description on the movie guide before the film came out did imply it was the Manchester City Bert Troutman keeper, but obviously it wasn't. But that was a bit of fun anyway. We had a bit of fun with that. A lot of people were disappointed with that. Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville each named their Premier League team of the decade, and it was nice to see 5 City players in that: Zabaleta, Kompany, Yaya Toure, David Silva, and Sergio Aguero. A couple of things for charity here. Joe Lake at Joanna_Lake. With Christmas approaching, here's a chance to win a signed, personally dedicated copy of Paul Lake's memoir, Top Gift for the Blue in Your Life. Just reply to this tweet using the hashtag LakeyBook. Winner will be picked at random on the 8th of December. So yeah, please get along on at Joanne_Lake and have a look at that thing for charity there. Mary Lester at Maz Leicester, M-A-Z Leicester. 2 tickets for Manchester City Women's Hospitality Heart of the City versus Brighton Hove Albion on the 5th of December. All proceeds go to charity. Great extras present. Direct message at Karen Bretherto. Brether, Bretherto 5. with bids ends the 8th of December. So that's again, it's the time of year, isn't it? We're getting a lot of Christmassy stuff. Maria Stripling at Maria Stripling. Support MCFC. Fancy going to a home game against Sheffield United, 29th December. I'm raffling 2 donated tickets in support of St Anne's Hospice. £2 each, only 200, so good odds to win. Ends 16th of December or when tickets sold. Nice Xmas gift. So that's that one. You want to go along and do that. Noisy neighbours, out of context football was quite funny. Just a little picture of Mr. Edison chasing back there. Look how far he's out of goal. But we all know that was the fresh air kick, wasn't it, last night? But thankfully we got away with it, didn't we? And the final thing that I mentioned, I think earlier, Stuart Brennan MEM. Great defending from Fernandinho. You can imagine him and Laporte being first choice pairing in the second half of the season for MCFC. And yeah, I mean, that's where we're going. But as I said, I want Ferner back where he belongs. Whether we'll be able to do that, I don't know. Obviously, hopefully we will have Laporte back. And but to partner him, Laporte and Fernandinho. Sorry, no. I mean, we've got to get. We won't win the Champions League with that. Sorry, not with that. Not with Gundogan defensive midfielder or Rodri DM. No, I can see where Stuart Brennan's coming from, but no, not for me. Anyway, that's that. Hope you enjoyed that. Just over 30 minutes. Hope you enjoyed that review. I'll be back after the Newcastle game, so it probably be, I don't think it'll be Saturday night, probably Sunday daytime with a review of that, and I look forward to the Burnley away game, which follows quite quickly, doesn't it? Please push the old subscribe button if you like these. Push the bell notifications when you know you're coming out. If you like your movies as well and posters and things like that, obviously have a look on this Bernard YouTube. There's lots of things, movie reviews, etc., that I do on there. So if you're into movies and I do little quizzes and stuff like that, please have a look. I've got about 110 videos at the moment. I'm on Twitter at nostalgia_movie, which is obviously to do with movies and City. And obviously my personal Twitter account is at Charles Dineen, DINNN. So it's Bernard Dineen at Charles Dineen, DINNN. On Facebook at Bernard Dineen with links to moviegamenostalgia.com, my website where I sell DVDs, board games and posters. Anyway, that's that bit. That's the business bit. Come on, City. Let's beat Newcastle. And whatever you're doing, if you get up there, you stay safe. If you get up to Newcastle and you're watching that game, please stay safe up there. Come back safely. Whatever you're doing between now and then, enjoy. Look after yourself. Look after your friends. And more importantly, look after your family. And this is Bernard saying goodbye. Look after yourselves. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.